So, your credit score is high, but you keep getting denied for credit cards. So you're wondering, like, why is my credit score high, but I'm getting denied when I'm applying for credit cards, when I'm applying for loans? Why do I keep getting denied? Because what happens is this, and I'm going to share with you 3 things that's causing you to get denied, and then I'm going to share 3 solutions. This is a game changer video, guys, so you guys pay attention all the way to the end. If it's your first time on channel, there is a subscribe button, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can be part of the fastest growing credit channel in national history. And also, hit the like button, because this is going to be something that you guys are going to love. So I'm excited to see how many likes you get on this one, because this really has changed a lot of my students' lives, from being able to, not get credit cards to being able to start getting credit cards and doing it the right way and just kind of understanding the credit game, right? And so I talk a lot about the credit game because it was something that I built for me many years ago. And today, because I was at a 515 credit score, today I'm at over 829 credit score. And that is all because I learned the game and I documented everything and put it into a course for you guys to be able to share with yourself, your friends, your family, your coworker, and your clients. So that being said, we're going to talk about what is it that's getting you denied for credit cards, and then 3 things that we can do to take action and get the solution. The first thing that causes, and this is kind of like the psychology behind this, the first thing that causes people to get denied is they believe that if they have a 729 credit score, that, hey, I got over a 700, I should be approved for everything. Every credit card I apply for, every loan, my mortgage, my cars, I would get approved because I'm at a 729. That is inaccurate, okay? This 3-digit number dictates what you do in life, but it also does not dictate what you get in life, meaning that is just a number. In fact, I'm going to show you a way to get to a 729 really quick. If you went through extreme credit repair and maybe did elite credit repair and you didn't have any more negatives, and you said, okay, let me just throw on one positive line onto my credit. And I put a Tradeline on my credit, and now I've got a 10,000 limit credit card with a year old. Okay. Now again, this is an added Tradeline to a file that doesn't have that many accounts. Okay. Now I've seen people with one Tradeline all the way up to a 790, but then they think that a 790 is, hey, I'm at a 790. I should be approved. You got one Tradeline on there. So it's what's behind the credit score that really matters, not just I have a 729 credit score and I should be approved. So a big misconception first is it's not the number, it's what's behind the number. There's 524 different mechanisms, okay, algorithms, data points that is making up for you to be approved or not for a credit card. 529 things. So what happens is humans sat behind computers for each credit card, because this was done manually by a human, and they said, hey, if this happens, approve. If this happens, deny. If this happens, deny. This happens, approve. 524 things they're looking for. Okay? So, however, when you apply for a credit card, now the systems are built already. If you get denied, it's not somebody behind going, okay, I see that his utilization is good. There's one late payment, and they're not doing that. They're getting millions and millions of applications every day. So, know that a human set it up to get you either denied or approved, but they're not manually doing it now when you actually apply, okay? So it was done at one time by a human. The first thing that's gonna stop you from getting denied is to understand it's called lack of sufficient information, okay? It's the number one people get denied for credit cards. So lack of sufficient information, that basically means address, phone numbers. It could be that your credit card limits are wrong. It could be that your dates are wrong, but basically it is picking up one of those 524 things to make up an approval, and you're getting denied because it's lack of sufficient info. It means all the information is not matching. Maybe your address on one credit card or on one credit report is different than the other. So you have to comb through your credit report and make sure everything is accurate. 77% of credit reports are inaccurate, which is why it's so easy to remove negatives, because if you knew the credit game, you would know that if there's an inaccurate, obsolete, unfair, erroneous information on your credit report, you can challenge that and get it removed. I say it all to tell you this. Number one reason is because there's something on your credit report that is not accurate. Okay, that's the number one reason you'll get approved. Number two, lack of sufficient history. Now here's my question for you. If you were to look at your credit report right now, and I want you guys to put this in comment, every single person listening to my voice right now, put this in comments. If you were a lender looking at your credit report the way it is right now, I want yes or no, and I'll know which what that means. No means you would not lend to yourself. Yes means yes, I would lend to myself. If I was a lender, would you lend to you? If you're a lender, would you lend to you? Meaning, would you give yourself a high limit credit card? Would you give yourself a nice car? Would you let yourself buy a house? Put yes or no in comments if you would lend to yourself, and be honest with yourself, because the more honest with yourself, that's obviously you don't have to lie to me. I want you to be truthful to you. Would you lend to yourself? And that's going to indicate the psychology behind why credit card companies, because if you wouldn't lend to yourself, why would you expect somebody else to? But truthfully, put it in comments. Yes or no. Yes means you would. No means you wouldn't. Lack of sufficient history. If I'm looking at a credit report and I see that there's 12 months of history, okay, and I'm looking at a credit report that has 15 years of history, and I'm looking at another credit report that has 3 months of history, of good payment history, do you think that I am more likely to lend to a person who has 15 years of perfect payment history or one that has 90 days of perfect payment history? So lack of sufficient history is the second reason that you are getting denied for credit cards. Lack of history. Lenders want to see that you are consistently making your payments on time every single month. And the more history you have, the more likely you're going to get approved for a credit card. Okay? And number three, and that is high utilization. So again, credit cards, if you understand credit cards, how they work, credit cards love the fact that you actually use the credit cards, right? Because the more you actually use on credit cards, guess what? That means the more interest they are making. Banks are in the business to make money, okay? Banks are not nonprofit. Banks are for profit. So when you have a credit card and you're using the credit card, guess what? They are making money because you're spending money on the credit card, which is how the economy thrives. Higher that you put on your credit card, the more interest you're paying on the credit card, okay? If you have high, now, contrary to that, here's the thing. If you have high utilization and you have missed payments and or collections, that is going to be the third reason that you are going to get denied for credit cards. Most credit card companies, okay, will not lend to someone if they have recent late payments under 24 months or collections under 24 months. In fact, there are a lot of credit cards that if you have any late payments or any collections, they will not lend to you. American Express is one of those. Okay, the Chase Sapphire Preferred. No late payments, no collections, guys. Most of the bigger banks are looking for people that don't have late payments and don't have collections. So if I'm talking to you right now and you're like, I've got late payments, I've got collections, and my credit cards are maxed out, then the chances of you getting approved are slim to none. And slim left town. So that means the alternative. We need to get that fixed. So I have a solution for you that's going to help you start getting approved. Now again, if you've got a high credit score and you've got a bunch of late payments, it's probably unlikely that you have a high credit score anyway. But it has happened where people have late payments, right? Bad things happen to good people. Would we all agree? Especially through with what's going on with COVID and everything else and the back end of this. People lose their jobs. They don't know what's going on. They had to use credit card debt, right? So interest rates are going higher. Credit card debt's going higher. Student loan debt's high. Mortgage, I mean, it's crazy right now. It's out of control. But I'm saying this to tell you this. In order to get approved for a credit card, okay, the late payments and collections have got to come off. The utilization has to come down. I'm going to give you the solution. The first thing that you want to know when you apply for a credit card, solution number one is what they call a recon line, aka reconsideration line. When you apply for a credit card, remember there's 524 different mechanisms, data points that they're checking quickly. 30-second thing, a computer's checking it, boom, 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 and that's when they spit out either approved or they spit out this little thing that says, we appreciate you applying for a credit card. However, we will send you a letter in the next 7 to 10 days via mail. What most people do is they believe that's the kiss of death. They believe that when they get that screen that pops up that says, hey, we're going to send you a letter in the next 7 to 10 days, that automatically means that you've been denied for a credit card. Remember I told you I'm going to drop some nuggets? Here we go. That does not mean that you got denied for a credit card. That means that one of those 524 things, when you applied for a credit card, actually triggered either lack of sufficient history and or lack of sufficient info. When you get that notification, you're going to Google whatever credit card you're going, Chase, okay, let's use Chase reconsideration line, phone number. You're going to call them up. Okay, in a minute I'm going to tell you what to say. The reconsideration line is there so you can get to a human. Because what happened was the data points got picked up by a computer within that 30-second period and it didn't like something. That does not mean you got denied for a credit card. That just means that they're going to send you a letter and say, hey, we need this information. Or it's possible they say, hey, at this time it's not a good fit. Unfortunately, you did not get approved. But never give up just because you got that, because there are so many people that get approved when they actually get a human on the phone. Remember, the humans built the system. Now it's a computer system. Now we want to go back to human again. So by calling that number and actually talking to a human, and I'm going to share with you some tricks and tips and strategies on what to do there, your chances of getting a credit card increase dramatically. You guys got to know what to put on the credit card application. So I'm going to share with you like a little trick here, okay? Credit cards are what they call stated information. For educational purposes only, I am going to share with you something that my students, part of the credit game, have told me, and I'm going to use this for you guys to educate you in something very, very powerful. That's why I told you, if I don't get a thumbs up coming through this camera. If you don't know what to put on a credit card application, I'm going to give you 2 scenarios, and I want you to think about it this way first so I can go perspective. Perspective 1, because stated verification means when you apply for a credit card, you first of all do not apply for a credit card online. Make sure you call the bank. Okay, call the bank over doing it online. If you have an opportunity to where you can actually go into the bank, that is going to be your best chance of getting approved. So number 1, going into a bank, highest approval rates. Number 2 would be calling the bank. And number 3 would be doing an application online. Now, when you're doing an application, if you don't know what to put on the application, this is going to affect you. So you're filling out your application, which by the way, stated means it's not verified. It means stated, means you are going to tell the system or the person or in person or online, depending on how you have to do it, what you make, where you live, what your job history is, and your rental history. It is stated. They are taking your word for it. It is not verifiable. Now, my name is John Smith. I live at 123 Smith Street. I have lived at my mom's house for the last 4 years. I stay in the basement. I am currently unemployed. My annual income is $6,000 because I get unemployment checks. And I have no rent payment. And my car payment, because right now I'm riding a bike, I don't have a car payment either. I'm applying for a Chase Freedom Card. I put all that information in, I hit submit. Okay, now, you guys are very smart, so I'm going to do another one. My name is John Smith. I live at 123 Smith Street. I have been renting successfully for the last 4.5 years. My car payment is $749 a month. My annual income is $86,423. And my rent payment is $1,245. So my question is this. Two applications, we're both applying for the Chase card. Option B, the last one. Option A, the first one. Who has a better chance of getting approved for the credit card? A, and B, who has a better chance of getting approved for a higher limit credit card? I know it's a silly question, but I got to ask it. A was the first example. B, second example. This is what I'm talking about. Stated information. Okay? So that's nugget number 3 for you guys. Okay? You have to know what to put on the credit card application. For educational purposes only, I wanted to give you an illustration because I hope that you can read between the lines. The third thing is this. If you already have a credit card, let's say you already have a relationship with a bank, maybe it's Chase, maybe it's Wells Fargo, maybe it's Capital One, Discover, whatever the case is, your chance of going back to that bank for another credit card is much, much higher than applying for a brand new credit card. Okay, so always go back. Banks are what they call relational. They basically are relationship. Most banks are relationship based, which means that since you already have history with that bank and you've been making your payments on X credit card, instead of going to another completely different bank, just go to the same bank. Go to the same bank and get another credit card from the same bank. Your chances of getting approved dramatically increase, okay? So I wanted to share that nugget right there with you guys because I believe if you have these 3 things, okay? Now, remember I talked about calling the reconsideration line. There's a couple things you want to know before that you call the reconsideration line. Number 1, you want to know the card benefits. So you're going to do a little due diligence first. Okay, before you even apply for the credit card, make sure you write down the benefits of the card. Okay, what are the card benefits? Okay, does it have cash back? Why do you like the bank? Make sure you write down, I have great income. Make sure you also write down that you have never missed any payments and you have no collections. Okay? Because when you call the reconsideration line, let's say, for example, that I applied for a credit card and I got that funky little letter that says, well, it pops up on the screen, whatever the case is. Or even if you're calling in person, right, and they say, hey, I'm going to hang up and I'm going to call the reconsideration line. Okay, I'm calling Chase. And you always want to remember that these people are humans. They all just went through. We're in a time right now where every single person that you talk to has went through some type of heartache, stress, and everything else that's going on with the uncertainties of COVID and everything that we've just went through. And when you deal with a human to human, your chances of getting approved because you have somebody with a heart on the other side and not a computer system will go up a lot. You can always catch more bees with honey. So when you call in, it is extremely important that you are nice. The small talk. Good afternoon. Yeah, hey, listen, I'm thankful to have you on the phone. I really appreciate the opportunity for you to, and again, guys, I'm calling Chase's reconsideration line. I really I love the Chase family. I've got great income, and I got a notification on my computer that it said to actually call in because it needed a little bit of information. So I wanted to make sure that I called in to actually speak to someone and see where we can go from here. First of all, I just love Chase. I love the benefits. The cash back is amazing, and I just want to continue to do business with you guys and stay in your family of the Chase cards, because I've got referred by many, many friends, and they always said that Chase was the best card, and I just absolutely love you guys. I'm looking to redo my kitchen and do some upgrades, and I love the fact that you have a 0% interest for the next 12 months. And again, I want to make sure that you understand. I've got a great credit score. I've never missed any payments. I got no collections, and wanted to call in to see what my credit limit would be. How's the? By the way, what state are you in? Oh, you're in Wyoming. What's beautiful in Florida? Man, we got a beautiful. How? Any kids? Right. I'm doing small talk. Small talk. Warming up, building rapport, with the lady or man on the phone. But I'm being extremely nice, okay? And I am saying all the benefits of the card and why I want to stick with them, and then also providing the fact that I've got great income, and also providing the fact that I've never missed any payments, and I want to stick with their family because I love the Chase cards. And again, you can do this with any card, okay? What's going to happen is they're going to put you on hold. Sir, give me a second. I will take a look at your credit report. And what they do is they leave for about 60 seconds, and then they come back after actually looking at your credit report. And you have a human actually looking at your credit report, not a computer system. She'll come back and say, hey, sir, I took a second. I appreciate your patience. And oh, yeah, not a problem. I'm so excited to see, how it's going to work out, and, the credit limit that you approved me for. And again, I'm being very positive. Well, you were approved for $12,500. Congratulations. No, I really appreciate it. And like I said, this is one of my favorite lines. Definitely looking to start a great relationship with the Chase Bank, and appreciate time to actually looking at it and taking a look with your own eyes. I knew there was something on the computer that had mentioned to call in, and maybe there was some information that you needed, whatever the case is. And they may ask, hey, where do you live at? Hey, verify your social, whatever. Just give them the information, because something on your credit report triggered. Remember I told you, the first thing is lack of sufficient info. And that's usually why you get denied. Give them the information, be nice. They'll come back on, more than likely, and say approved. I was recently approved, myself, I got denied for a Chase card, right? I knew what I needed to do, but what I didn't know is that I applied for credit cards, because what Chase has is what they call a 524 rule. It means if you have 5 accounts opened in a 24-month period, they will deny you, okay? So I called in, and I had 5 accounts that I had opened up in the last 24 months, and I almost let my emotions, I said, well, I got an 829 credit score. I've never missed a payment in my life. I've got 43 credit cards on my, I mean, it's great utilization. I'm at 3% utilization. I've got everything. What happened? And she said, sir, Chase has a rule where if you have 5 accounts within 24 months, unfortunately, we don't let anybody get approved for their credit card. I said, but you don't understand. I want to be with Chase, and I'm getting rid of a lot of my other credit cards, and I want to stay with you guys. I want to build a relationship with Chase. I've never missed a payment. I have an 829 credit score. Can you make an exception? I promise you won't regret this. I'll be a loyal customer, never miss a payment, boom, boom. Long story short, I got proof of the card. You have to get to human and be positive and collect a lot of bees with your honey. If you have to watch this video 50 times, watch it so you can get that down and understand the things you need to do to get approved for a credit card. If you've got collections, if you've got late payments, if you've got a judgment, a repossession, if you've got a bankruptcy, if you've got student loan, whatever the case is, I also have inside the credit game the fastest, hands down, vendor that has the Maserati speed and the Lambo speed. Okay? Results in 90 days or results in 45 days. They are not using the letter format. It is all done by software and all done by what they call Swift codes, which means, without giving too much information, when you have software and you have certain codes that can be entered in, things can be removed much faster if you know what you're putting in there. So my vendor actually has that software. So again, Maserati's fast. And the chances of getting results in under 9 days anywhere else is slim to none as well. But I know there are a lot of people that say, you know what, I like the 90 days, but right now time is more important to me because I've got a closing on my house, I've got a car that I really want, I've got whatever the case is, and I would like results in under 45 days. That's going to be your Lambo. You get into my program, okay, the 90-day one will be covered by me. Any of my programs, Maserati, AKA Associates, is going to be covered by me as far as the credit part goes. Okay? Get into program and I'll cover the credit pair for you. Call in to get the details on Lambo because it's a little bit different. but I want to help you guys. I want to help you out tremendously. I also want to give you a $10,000 primary. That comes in the Lambo package as well, $10,000 primary, and either package, I'm going to make sure you guys get taken care of and get 75% off of age trade lines. Because remember, the number 2 thing that's causing your denials is lack of sufficient history. And most people don't know that if you can throw on the right trade lines and put on the right progression file of age on your credit report, your approvals will go skyrocket. And I'll show you exactly how to do that. Not only will I give you 75% off, but Section 3 in the Associates program, I'm going to show you exactly what I put on my credit and the things I did to be able to get a $50,000 Barclay card, a $35,000 ViStar card, and all the cards I got today, and the $100,000 Amex. I show you exactly what I did. Remember, I built this for me, not you. So I show you exactly what you need to do, what trade lines to get, what banks to go, what progression means, how you should age it progressionally. I give you all that. And the vendor that's in my program, 75% off of trade lines that you could use for yourself, you could also use for your friends, and you could use for your coworkers, and you can use for your clients, and everybody would get that discount. First 5 people to call me are going to get a deal of a lifetime. So call me now so I can walk out to the floor. I'll even say what's up to you. You getting a Lambo deal? I want to get on the phone with you. Say what's up. 904-420-7772. This is how you start getting approved for credit cards and stop getting denied when you have a good score. My name is Mike from the Credit Game. I'll talk to you in a few minutes. First 5 watching this video, let's roll.